very athletic, long team. Hampton, a team that forces a ton of steals, something Rutgers has struggled with the turnover game. I'll see if this turns into a track meet or see if Rutgers can find success in the paint.
Well, they cost 25 turnovers a game, the Pirates do, and that's been an area that Rutgers has struggled with at different times this year, trying to limit the amount of turnovers and keep it on their side of the floor when they've got the basketball.
A size advantage evident right there. Victoria Mason at 5'8", sent up to contest Cassandra Brown, 6'2". That's why Rutgers wins the tip. So we get underway here in Piscataway. Looking quickly for China Cornwell, and immediately, Tim, the size advantage shows itself.
And that's exactly what we were just talking about a moment ago. China Cornwell standing at 6'3". She really has improved her post play, and she's someone that can really contribute as well in the offensive rebounding category. So keep your eyes on China Cornwell this afternoon.
Down on the baseline, there's Nyla Young, the star of this team, as she drains the long two, averaging 13 points and 8 rebounds a game. She's going to be a big factor today. And
she's going to be one of those two players that I think is going to help control the offense for the Pirates this afternoon.
Young, a two-time all-conference pick, but Rutgers once again gets points in the paint. Brown sets up Cornwell.
And there was just nobody there on defense there for the Pirates, and you see Rutgers now starting to go with a little bit of a full-court press, not quite as aggressive early on here, but trying to keep the Pirates on their toes.
Madison Buford looks inside, and there is Cameron Hill. Her first shot good. Good shooting start for Hampton.
We talked about her in the open. Cameron Hill, the leading scorer for Hampton. She's going to have to play well early on in this first half if they want to keep pace with the Scarlet Knights.
Look downstairs. Awa Sidibe was open. Now she's triple-teamed and throws it away. And Hampton wants to run. Here's Victoria Mason, point guard of this team. She's going to pull it back. Not a good three-point shooting team. We've talked about that. Hampton, as a group, 22% and off the mark on their first. Transition. Carter gets it inside for Cornwell, who got her own miss and couldn't stick it back in.
But you just see the size advantage that Rutgers has down there with China Cornwell. Again, good offensive rebound. She was in good position, just couldn't quite finish right near the basket.
Cornwell's taken all of Rutgers' first 4 shots. Clearly want to play through her today. Hampton passing around the Rutgers zone as Hill gets bumped off the spot there. We highlighted Kayleen Smeichel in our open, but she comes off the bench for this team. A team that has 2 freshmen. Now both of them waiting to check in, her and Antonia Bates. Again with Cornwell, a junior from Conover, North Carolina. Abby Streeter, a 3-point shooter, but wide left there as Cornwell gets her hands on it, and it's a tie-up.
So Rutgers having a little bit of difficulty that last time on that possession, getting the ball inside. Hampton has remained in this zone defense. A couple substitutions here, but I still do believe that's where Rutgers is going to get the bulk of their points inside, especially with the size advantage that they have.
Rutgers' first 4 points in the paint. Hampton a couple of jump shots so far to bring us to a 4-4 score. As Bates, Smeichel, and Erica Lafayette get in for Rutgers. Young on the finger roll missed it. And rebound secured by Bates. And there is Smeichel, freshman from Farmingdale, New York, out on Long Island. A 4-star recruit, an impact player. She can knock down the 3. On 3 seconds is the call.
Defense, you've got to get the ball at least near the foul line, possibly in the paint, but that's twice now Rutgers seemingly has struggled to try to get inside and try to break that zone.
Rutgers in a 3-2 zone right now. Young. Mason tried to penetrate and got cut off. Now here's Madison Buford, who's had a nice couple games lately. Young got stuck under the basket. That's a tough angle to shoot from. And here comes Rutgers on the move. Lafayette, extra pass for Sidibe. One more for Smeichel, who drains the 3. And Kayleen Smeichel on the board.
Shooting 35% from behind the 3-point line. We talked about her in the open. Someone who is gaining more confidence, can drive to the rim, but she can also shoot the long ball, especially from behind the 3-point line.
Now it looked like Sidibe's pass might be the last of the possession, but an extra one there is now Smeichel causes the steal.
I think we'll really get a chance to see what Kayleen Smeichel can do. We've seen her come off of the bench, as you mentioned, Dom, a couple of times this year throughout this early portion of the season. But her being able to come off of the bench and contribute offensively, I think has given Rutgers a nice spark over the last couple of games.
As Tim mentioned, it's seen with a short bench, but Smeichel has been their top scorer, bench or not, averaging almost 15 a game. A cold spell here for Hampton. No points in their last 3.5 minutes. Buford gets around Lafayette and got bumped.
Buford's going to go shoot a couple from the free throw line. Place where she's pretty efficient, 84% on the season, Don.
Well, it's been a tale of two early portions of the year for Hampton at the line. They started the season worse than 60% in their first 3 games, but 80% in their last 4. And Buford's been their best, 84%. Tries to split the pair, and can't. Missed them both. And Cassandra Brown back on the court, grabs a rebound. Sidibe gets rushed. And now Lafayette will run the offense. Off the pump fake. Inside for Brown, who shares it one more time. Too strong. And Brown came up with the ball, but traveled as she fell.
Right around the foul line, so you can give the person who's controlling the offense with the basketball an opportunity to give you the pass, then you can kind of slowly work your way to the rim.
Hill bobbled it, and then she got hit. And she will shoot some free throws when we come back.
And she said after the Cornell win a couple of weeks ago, Dom, she said, we're just still trying to learn how to play with each other on the floor. That really, I think, is the major point that when you look at where this Rutgers team is right now, a lot of young players, some players transferring in from different universities. Everyone's still trying to gel, so to speak. It's a work in progress, but they are making some improvements day in and day out.
Yeah, Rutgers added 3 transfers, a pair of freshmen, and brought back 3 players from last year's team. So still figuring it out, as Brown, one of those transfers from St. Peter's, has another offensive rebound. Smeichels already hit 1 3 and cans another from the corner.
And you just seen, we talked about it as well when we talked about Kayleen Smeichel, the confidence that she has when she's on the floor, not just dribbling, but especially in her form when she goes up and she shoots. She's very confident, and she has been hot from behind the three-point line.
Lafayette trying to thread the needle. Sidibe through contact wins the whistle. And you see there Rutgers' desire to push the possession. That's something Coach Washington's talked a lot about.
Here's another look. Again, watch Smeichel, the form that she has, the confidence that she has. It's the second time she's knocked down a 3 from that spot on the floor.
Washington says that Kayleen Smeichels not afraid of the big shot. We've seen that already this season. As Awa Sidibe, who has been the MVP of this team, arguably, is at the free throw line. 11 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists per game, and the Big Ten leader in minutes. She's been as indispensable as it gets.
Yeah, she's had double-figure scoring in 3 of the last 4 games, Dom, so she has also stepped up her performance, especially over the last couple of conference games that Rutgers has had. I know it didn't necessarily go their way against Ohio State and Illinois, but Sidibe has been one of those players that has been able to help Rutgers offensively.
Sidibe goes to the bench as Streeter is back in, and Hampton gets its first bucket off a field goal in 5 minutes as Nyla Young lays it in. Early 4 points for Young, who could be a key player today. And now Victoria Mason steals it away, trying to run the break, and Bates commits the foul.
We talked about earlier the amount of turnovers that Hampton causes during the course of a basketball game. Here's the turnover. Bates trying to get it inside to Cassandra Brown. Not a great pass, taken away by Mason, and then Mason draws the contact at the other end.
That's 2 early fouls on Antonia Bates, freshman from Rutgers Prep, just down the road from here. And now Victoria Mason, a 3-year starter at point guard, is at the line. And a cold start from the stripe for the Pirates, 2 of 5. Mason puts up the free throw and rattles it in. I chuckle because you may be able to hear it at home. Something the Rutgers pep band does towards the holidays is they sing Christmas carols during the opposing team's free throws. Singing a Merry Christmas to Victoria Mason while she tried to knock down some shots. She gets 1 out of 2 and back to a 3-point game. Smichael, how about a third? Well, that time too strong. And Young has her first rebound. Hill, look inside. They want to get Young going, but Brown had that defended well until the final moment.
And nice patience there by Young down there on the block. She draws the contact on Brown, gets the foul to go her way. Has good position, takes her time, uses her pivot foot. And now is going to have 2 shots up coming from the line.
Yeah, the right hand right at the very end from Brown as she looked for the block. And now Young, mentioned the 2-time All-Big South Conference pick, is at the free throw line.
And she's one of those players that for Hampton, we talked about the size disadvantage. She's going to have to, at 5'11", kind of be the person in the post area that can post up and have an opportunity to make a play in the post area if she can get the ball on that low block area for Hampton this afternoon.
Young already has 6 points, 6 of their 11. Smichael's got 6 for Rutgers. Victoria Mason nearly had a steal. Streeter got a 3. Rutgers raining them from deep.
Abby Streeter shooting 38% from behind the 3-point line. Dom, that's now her 18th made 3 this season.
Rutgers 3 of 5 from 3-point land. Reeves looks for the answer off the front of the rim. And then Germany Mapp, who just came in off the bench, stepped out of play. Now Kai Carter back in. She's going to run the point here for Rutgers. Transfer from UNC Asheville in her first season as a point guard. Sidibe gets it inside to Brown, who gets quadruple teamed. Carter gets a great look, and Rutgers cans another. Kai Carter's first 3 points.
Well, that's one way to beat a zone defense. You get the ball inside, you have the defense collapse towards you, and then you kick it back out to either the perimeter or behind the 3-point line for an open shot. Nice job that time by Carter.
Back-to-back threes on that end for Rutgers. Hill picked up her dribble and called for 3 in the key. Now, not usually the formula for Rutgers, at least in the first 12 games under Coach East Washington, but it's 3 and D so far. They played well on the defensive end and knocked down some long-distance shots. Smichael gets Carter, wants to get it inside, but Brown had it poked away. That's the 5th turnover Rutgers has committed here in this opening period. Buford off the baseline, tried to split the double team, and Cassandra Brown just committed her 2nd foul.
That's 2 on her. Now she's going to check out of the game. And this is something that we talked about, Dom. Not a whole lot of players to sub in for Rutgers. So if you have one of your players get in foul trouble early on, it really makes it difficult for Coach Washington to figure out who she wants to have on the floor, especially since we're still in the first quarter here. And now you have one of your starting 5 with 2 personals.
Antonia Bates earlier in this quarter picked up 2 fouls as well. Hampton has not done a great job of making Rutgers pay yet, though, as Buford rattles that in. 6 for 10 from the line so far. And Carter travels. A double dribble called against the first-year point guard.
And Rutgers is shooting the ball fairly well, Dom, but they're still struggling, in my opinion, to get the ball in the post area and be able to really take advantage and make Hampton have to work when they're in a zone defense. I really quite haven't seen the ball movement I think that Coach Washington would want to see when you're facing a zone defense. Again, Rutgers has shot the ball fairly well in this first quarter, but I think the ball movement's going to have to be a little bit crisper, especially going into the second quarter.
The defense has been carrying the Knights. Late shot clock here as Buford has to hoist it and missed everything. Extra pass for Streeter. A good recovery defensively by Hampton. You can see them in their own zone. They've got 4 players closer to the baseline as they try to pack the paint. Cornwell for Schmeichel. Drives inside and kicks it for Lafayette. Long on the 3, but Cornwell grabs it, and she earns some free throws.
And I like the aggressiveness there by Cornwell, sticking with the play. Look at this rebound. Incredible to be able to reach behind her back, bring the ball down, draw the contact, and get to the line. That was a much better offensive set for Rutgers. They were really able to use the ball and be able to work it around the perimeter, get Hampton out of position, get a shot up, and then, of course, you have Cornwell downstairs able to contribute in the rebounding category, give herself an opportunity from the foul line.
That's been an emergent year for China Cornwell. First year as a starter. 3rd year at Rutgers, though. And she's already nearly quadrupled her scoring and rebounding totals from a season ago. Now a junior. 1 out of 2 at the line. She's already got 5 points and 5 rebounds. And so it's Rutgers by 7 with the shot clock off, and Hampton has a chance to get one more here. Mason looks to her head coach, David Six, and gets the call. 7 seconds. Buford down to 3. Mason from 30 feet. It's short, and that brings us to the end of the opening period.
Not necessarily Rutgers' strength overall this season, but they have shot the ball fairly well in this first quarter.
Yeah, it's not, for sure. 12th in the conference in three-point scoring as a team. Now, it's one way to beat the zone, which Hampton's played all of this game so far. Rutgers gets it inside. Now for Cornwell, 5 to shoot, trying to kick it out, but she gets tied up. Well, for all of Rutgers' efforts to get the ball inside against a smaller Hampton team.
To get the ball inside and then be able to create opportunities in the post area. They have shot the ball well from behind the three-point line. That's the reason why they have the lead. But as far as their overall percentage and how well they have performed inside the post area, that's something that they have struggled with in this first half.
Hampton's also struggled from 3, but there's their first triple. Cameron Hill knocks down her first triple of the day. 6th in Hampton's new conference, the CAA, in scoring. And a much-needed bucket there for a Hampton team that struggled from the floor. Most of their points have come from the free throw line as Rutgers gets more in the paint.
And that's the type of offense, again, I think that Rutgers is going to need to use today. That's a great way to beat the zone. You get a drive going towards the middle of the paint. You have someone downstairs like Cornwell or Lafayette who's in position and finishes at the rim.
4-on-2. Schmeichel all the way, missed it, but Streeter wins the tip out. And off the mark on the mid-range. A real chance there for Rutgers to get 2. A team that wants to average something like 2 possessions a minute. They want to play offense quickly. Hill, how about another? She cans it. Heat quickly as Cameron Hill's back on the court knocking down some threes.
And again, not a strong suit for Hampton. You mentioned it earlier, Dom. Only 22% as a team from behind the three-point line, but they're within 3.
And Cameron Hill's got 7. Ripped away, but Cornwell kept it and commits and earns the foul. I'll put that on Amaya Reeves.
Rutgers going to have to come out a little bit further and guard that three-point line a little closer.
Lafayette may have gotten away with a push-off. Schmeichel, high arcer, bangs another. Kayleen Schmeichel with 3 threes in the opening half, and Rutgers with its best day from the three-point line so far this year. Buford. Got it! Raining threes inside Jersey Mike's arena. Schmeichel, oh, wipe it out. It's a moving screen. That's on Awa Sidibe, who tried to get Schmeichel open. Look inside. Hill shares to Young, who gets bottled up. Brown and Schmeichel were there. And now Sidibe navigates, misses. And another tie-up. This time it will stay with the Scarlet Knights. All four of Rutgers' wins have come when they win the rebound battle. As Schmeichel misses, but Sidibe cleans the glass. Cornwell got stripped but hit. And so again, more free throws for Rutgers junior forward.
And kind of right on cue there, Dom. You saw a bunch of white jerseys inside the paint that time for Rutgers trying to contribute in the rebounding category. Cornwell gets the pass. Not really a great pass from Sidibe, but still the right idea. Cornwell, though, able to draw the contact, and now we'll go to the line for two.
And there's David Six, the 14th-year head coach of Hampton, trying to plead his case as Cameron Hill just picked up her first foul. That's been a good season for Cornwell at the line. 75%, best season for her in that department ever. That splits the pair there. So she's got 8 points with 5 rebounds. Now Rutgers builds the lead back to 4.
And, you know, speaking about rebounding, Dom, we looked at what Rutgers did last weekend against Ohio State here at home. One of the reasons why Rutgers was able to stay competitive in that game is because they were able to rebound the basketball and have several different players help in the rebounding category. So that really is going to be Rutgers, I think, key to success this season. Not necessarily so much in this game, but overall this season. That's going to be something I think that's going to help Rutgers stay in games.
Now Rutgers honoring C. Vivian Stringer with that Big Ten opener against Ohio State and nearly knocked off the now third-ranked Buckeyes. Now Rutgers struggling to grab the rebound on this possession, and Hill finally finishes it off. 3 offensive rebounds, all by Hill on that possession. Fouls on Victoria Mason, who just picked up her second. She's been the key to Hampton's steal success. Tops in the conference, in fact, in steals.
Yeah, she leads the team overall with 24 steals coming into this game. She also is great in the assist department, Dom. She's got 27 assists on the year. Victoria Mason, one of those players that can really help on both sides of the basketball for the Pirates.
Well, that's notable. Mason will stay on the floor. They have her play through foul trouble regularly because she's tough to take off the court. It's back to a one-possession game. Antonia Bates. Cornwell, again, gets hit. Now, Cornwell's not been able to get much of the paint scoring because she's been put on the free throw line so much.
But again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, Dom, but that really, I think, is going to be how Rutgers is going to be able to take advantage of the size advantage they have in this ball game. Get the ball inside to Cornwell. She's able to draw contact, and she's really got a great presence downstairs. She has a size advantage, not just against Hampton, but really from game to game has been someone that Rutgers can depend on to get the ball in the low block area, either make a nice basket, make a nice play, or get to the line. Just helps Rutgers be able to move their offense and be able to really make the defense work when they have the basketball. That's something that is key, especially when you have a smaller team like Hampton this afternoon.
Now Cornwell missed them both. She's had a nice day in the run of play, but 2 of 6 at the line, which again has been abnormal compared to what she's done this season. Chance for Hampton to take the lead here. Look down low, Young short-armed it. And Cornwell just secured her 6th rebound. Schmeichel off the dribble drive, dunked down for Cornwell. They'll wave that off. It's an offensive foul. Madison Buford stepped in to take the charge.
Here's another look. You see Schmeichel with the right idea. Tough to see if there was contact, exactly how much there was downstairs, but a break to go Hampton's way there. within 2, and you got to give them credit. They have performed pretty well in this first half as well. They've been able to get a lot of shots inside.
Again, Young under the basket, missed it, and then Sidibe couldn't secure the board. And then Buford travels. That's a Hampton team that in the first half went 5 minutes between made baskets. And despite all that, despite Rutgers' success from deep, it's a 2-point difference in this. And now past the midway point of the second quarter. Schmeichel already 3 threes. Reason for her 9 points. And it's poked away. Reeves has the takeaway. 10 turnovers in the first half for Rutgers. And again, that's been their issue this year. And we get a timeout. David Six wants to chat things over with his Pirates.
When you look back at some of the early 2000s, mid-2000s, that's around the time that Kenny Britt was here on the Banks. Very talented wide receiver and, like you said, royalty anytime he steps on anywhere at the Rutgers grounds here.
Pride of Bayonne here at Jersey Mike's Arena to take in what has been a good first half. Again, very competitive. Rutgers has led for all of this game, but Hampton has chiseled its way back in. Rutgers has made 5 threes in this first half. They're +8 on the glass, but the turnovers have been their issue again. They've given some second chances and extra possessions to the Pirates. Now it's a late shot clock. 5 to go here. Antonia Bates got it! Much needed from Rutgers as Antonia Bates hits the 6th one of the half for RU.
Well, that was critical there because there really wasn't a whole lot of movement on the offensive side of the ball. Rutgers was, I think, caught off guard. The shot clock was winding down, but Bates just drills a nice 3 wide open from behind the 3-point line.
Inside, Germany map slashes to the tin. Antonia Bates, talented freshman from Bound Brook, New Jersey, and Rutgers Prep. The defense from her so far in her first season has been great. The offense, as we've been told, catching up. We've seen some strides in that regard in the last couple of weeks. Sidibe, oh, the C's parted, but she missed the layup. Chance for an easy 2 there in the end. May have surprised her. Madison Buford gets the screen. And she'll pull it back. Not much going on this possession for the Pirates. Back to Map, going to the rim. And she gets tied up. Another jump ball. We've had a bunch of these in this first half. Buford looking. Finds Reeves. One-hands it and airballed it.
Yeah, both teams the last couple of possessions, Dom, really haven't been moving that much on offense. They've kind of been dribbling around the perimeter. Really hasn't been a whole lot of movement near the post area. Both teams remaining in the zone defense. That's how you attack that zone. You got to get the ball inside. So I'm kind of surprised no one's really moving a whole lot last couple times down the floor.
Yeah, it's something Rutgers has worked a lot on the last couple of weeks, their zone offense. They faced a ton of 3-2 and 2 threes so far as Schmeichel pushes off, and she just committed her second foul.
And one thing also as well, Don, we really haven't seen too much of in this second corner for Rutgers is some screens being set to kind of free up players like Schmeichel or Sidibe that's dribbling at the top of the key.
Oh, there Reeves ignores the screen and missed the lay-in. Sidibe on the run. Carter as the trailer, short on the 3. That's something Rutgers is relying on a little bit more here as this half goes on because of their success from deep. Half their shots have been 3s. That's abnormal for this team. Buford gets switched to Sidibe. And now Victoria Mason's got it. 7 to shoot. Map. Nowhere to go here. Finally, Mason gets open and couldn't hit it. Oh, now Sidibe leaking ahead, and that pass led her too far. And that's a live ball. Sidibe saved it. 4 on 5 here as Young gets fouled.
I think a little bit of fatigue now starting to sit in on both sides of the ball right now, Dom. And sometimes when you remain in a 2-3 zone defense, that's sometimes what will happen to you, especially when you have situations like this where you're running the length of the floor, up and down. You're passing the ball a lot around the perimeter, a lot of movement around the three-point line, but not necessarily in the post area. I just see some fatigue right now on both sides of the ball, especially from Rutgers.
Nyla Young at the line and knocks down the first free throw. Hampton, as we talked about in the open, is the deeper team, but David Six has only used 2 players off his bench so far, so it's Rutgers who's played more players in this first half. As Young gets them both, she's got 8 points, and Hampton is within 1 in the final minute now, the opening half. One where Rutgers is led by as many as 7. Cornwell. Carter, oh, she was open and maybe too unselfish on that instance.
Yeah, I think Carter had the right idea. She originally was going to pass the ball out, but she saw that she had space in the lane. I think just hesitated just a little bit too long and coughed up the basketball.
Now, broken record here. Hampton again a chance to grab an advantage, but again they failed to do so as Cornwell tipped the pass. And now the shot clock and game clock virtually synced up here, so Rutgers can close out the half. Bates tried to get it inside. Now under 10. Lafayette lost it. Carter reclaims it to the middle, gets the roll. And that's how the first half comes to a close. All of their wins have come here in Piscataway and looking for what would be a 5th this season. But work to do. Pirates have played well so far. Now Rutgers ball to start the second half. And Kai Carter operates the offense. Abby Streeter provided some of the 3 points scoring in that first half as well. More than half the points today have come from distance. Looking inside for Cornwell, but it gets kicked away. And so it stays on this side. And Tim mentioned the long road trip that Hampton is on. Just picked up their first road win, actually, Wednesday against St. Peter's. Now it's been nearly a month since a game in Hampton Roads.
2 straight road games also in the Garden State as well.
Yeah, true. It's been quite a bit here in Jersey. Their head coach, actually, we just talked about him, David Six, is a Brooklyn native, and so he brought the team to the city during the 2 days off they had between the Peacocks and the Scarlet Knights. Got to show them around Manhattan. Lob inside for Sidibe. Now she was open. Now Cornwell gets it to her. Good defense on this possession from Hampton. And Cornwell missed it. Sidibe had it. And Buford tries to save it. Finally, Carter upends Reeves and commits the foul.
Here's another look at that whole sequence just a moment ago.
Fouls aplenty on that possession. You saw the one that went on Hampton. They put that on Nyla Young. Off the back of the rim, another scrum for the loose ball, and this time Cornwell wins it. 8 points, 8 rebounds, should mention, for Cornwell. Sidibe ignores the screen. Off the blow by, creating for Cornwell.
And that's just a great pass that time by Sidibe, something that we really didn't see much of in the first half. Rutgers being able to drive to the rim and then either dish it off to a teammate that's open or finish at the rim. Wasn't too frequent, but that time, great pass from Sidibe to set up Cornwell.
Oh, great pass from Hill, but Young can't finish it off. And she's down behind the play. She got tangled up with Cornwell as they lag their way back in. And Rutgers will wait for them both. Sidibe wanted to get to this spin move, and looks like Victoria Mason had that scouted well. So chalk that up as another giveaway by Rutgers. And they'll go to the bench, bring in the two freshmen, Michael and Bates. Now, offense at times for both teams today has been stagnant, again, against zone defenses for both of them. This time pretty good to get Reeves a good look. She's short on the triple. And then the Pirates give the foul.
I think that's a pretty good way of summing things up, Don. Both teams have stayed in zone defenses when they've been on defense this afternoon, but each at times have struggled to kind of penetrate that zone, get into the lane, and make plays at the basket. They've from behind the three-point line, but a struggle for both teams just to try to deal with a 2-3 zone defense.
Michael. Streeter. That was a deep three, and she airballed it. Normally good from long distance. That's her calling card. Actually, nearly 200 career threes for Streeter, but missed that one. Hampton yet to score after halftime. There's Germany map. Buford missed it. Young, though, on the cleanup, gets it to roll in. And Nyla Young has been the offensive rebounding ace and add two more to her count.
And she had two white jerseys on her downstairs in the post area, but able to fight through that and be able to bank it in.
And now Mason read the pass, and it's a pick six for the Pirates. They're back within one.
We talked about Mason, really quick hands, has been able to anticipate a couple of passes that Rutgers has had around the top of the key this afternoon. Coach Washington wants to talk things over, calls a timeout.
In the paint and on the scoreboard, most of their points in the paint have come from Nyla Young.
Yeah, Nyla Young, 10 points, 3 rebounds so far in this game, and she has been able to contribute in particular inside. She's been able to rebound the basketball. She's had a couple of nice offensive rebounds, and she's been able to attack the Rutgers zone, which has helped Hampton stay within this couple points of the lead.
Yeah, just added to the tally, though, Cassandra Brown with one of the niftiest post moves we've seen today. Off the answer. Hill cans a three. Tie ball game at 34 all. Cameron Hill, a game high 15 points.
And she's done that quietly, Don. We really haven't talked that much about Hill for the entirety of this game, but that time an offensive foul going against Rutgers. But Hill, going back to her for a second, 15 points. We really haven't mentioned her name at all, but she comes up big there in that last possession, knocking down this three, ties the game up at 34 all.
Now, it's worth mentioning this is a Hampton team that is very experienced. Talk about how they've not played a very deep team. They've played 8 players today, and all but one of them are in at least their 3rd season of college. Back in for Young, and Cornwell was right there to travel. So 3rd time today, this ball game's tied, but Hampton has never led. And again, they've never beaten an active Big Ten school. Sidibe for Erica Lafayette, who lost it. And for the umpteenth time this afternoon, we've got to turn a tie-up. Jump ball. Mason, marked closely by Sidibe. Hill trying to get to her post game and got it to go. Past Cassandra Brown, and Hampton is in front for the first time.
And that was a tough shot there, Dom, by Hill.
On a blocking call before the pass. Rutgers. And now a turnover. Mason gets it off the Reeves tip away, but missed the layup. And Sidibe makes it one and done.
And Rutgers caught a break there, Dom.
That's for sure. It was their 18th turnover as Lafayette connects in the mid-range. And we're knotted at 36 now. Two teams that are separated by 16 places in the net rankings. In fact, Hampton in front in that regard. That game is played out like it. Oh, Mason somehow got that one. I think she just staggered through 3 different players.
Yeah, just really quick dribble inside. Rutgers looking a little bit fatigued here midway through this third quarter, allowing Mason to get right to the rim.
Sidibe. Brown, she can hit threes. And said Sidibe short on the elbow jumper, and that's one sort of mark of a tired shooter. Missing off the front of the rim. Buford looking inside at Young, but that gets cut off. Pull up. That's short, but Young keeps it alive. One of the nation's best offensive rebounders. Trying to hook around Cornwell, and she got hit.
Far.
Well, before break, Nyla Young got fouled, so she's at the line for a pair of free throws. 10 points, 5 boards, but Nyla Young could have easily not played in the 2 games Hampton's had in New Jersey this week. Start of the week back home in Suffolk, Virginia. Nyla Young and Cameron Hill were in what we're told was a pretty severe car accident. It happened back on Monday. Nyla Young and Cameron Hill were game time decisions for the game against the Peacocks. Decided to play. They're healthy, just sort of shaken by the whole experience. Now they've been indispensable today because they're the top 2 scorers for the Pirates. As that goes in for Cornwell, it's an and one.
Yeah, nice box out job by China Cornwell downstairs, sticking with the play. You see Lafayette on the drive, Cornwell in position, and that is really where she has been able to contribute the most for Rutgers, in that low block area, being in position, bringing down the offensive rebound, and then being able to score.
The free throw pops out. Cornwell has a double-double now with 12 points, 10 rebounds. And her basket ties the ball game up. To go back to the thought, though, on Young and Hill, good to see that they're okay. Young actually still has some abrasions on her face from the accident. Now they're playing despite of all of that. Buford at the horn. Got it! From 3. Madison Buford with her second triple of the day.
And Rutgers just leaves a player open from behind the three-point line. No one around her did not contest that shot, and Buford drains it.
Lafayette carves inside and finishes. 4 points for Erica Lafayette. Rutgers has gotten scoring from all 8 of their players so far. Mason around Bates and in for Young. 2 more for Nyla Young. She's got a dozen.
And now you're really starting to see Hampton figure out what they want to do and how they can attack this Rutgers zone. It's taken them almost 3 quarters to be able to figure that out, but now they're being able to anticipate it and get it downstairs to Young.
Sidibe got it after Mason just missed on the steal. That's a big swing right there. Victoria Mason takes that away. It's another easy 2 like we've seen from her before in this quarter. Both offenses now getting hot. Map struggling to keep it. And again, jump ball. This time Rutgers has the arrow.
And you see both teams here, Dom, in the last couple of minutes really kind of pick up the tempo a little bit, starting to bring a little bit more energy to the floor.
A chance to reclaim the lead. Lafayette, great look. Yes! The 7-3 today for Rutgers, and the Knights vault back in front.
And how about Lafayette, a player we don't talk a whole lot about, has come off of the bench, 7 points right at her average, but she's come up big the last couple of possessions.
Buford opts out of the long three. Got a better look there, but couldn't connect. Final minute of the quarter. Bates. And she's forced to back it out. Good recovery here from Rutgers in the last couple of minutes. Slip it inside. Cornwell hesitated, but she'll still get a chance to score off it. May have been an even easier play if she went straight up with the layup.
Exactly, and that's really kind of been the difficulty for Rutgers this afternoon, just trying to find her inside so she can be able to make plays at the rim. You see Lafayette with that three just a moment ago. But that's an example, I think, that Rutgers hasn't really used as much as I would like them to have used this afternoon with Cornwell downstairs. They have such a big size advantage, but they haven't been able to get her the basketball at times in the post area for her to be able to make a play.
Yeah, they were able to do it for the first 4 points of the game, in fact. But since that first sequence, it's been a bit of an issue getting inside. Now Cornwell good on both of those free throws. That's crucial because we've talked about her great free throw shooting on the season. Has not been so today. Now 4 of 9. And it gives Rutgers a 2-possession advantage. With 4 seconds between the game and shot clock. And there's a new entry. Heaven Asemius just took that three fresh onto the court for Hampton. And now Lafayette gets hit. And the foul will go on Asemius, sophomore from Brooklyn. And with Hampton over the limit, Rutgers will go to the line now. So here is Erica Lafayette, product of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Another good free throw shooter at 81%.
You've kind of seen, I mentioned it a moment ago, almost like a switch got thrown because all of a sudden now Rutgers is being a lot more aggressive on both sides of the floor. They're using a lot more energy. They're attacking the rim. It really all kind of started when Lafayette checked into the game a few moments ago, Dom, and started driving to the rim. That all of a sudden kind of flipped a switch, and now all of a sudden Rutgers is being very aggressive.
7 seconds. Mason beats Sidibe. Can't bank it in. And that's how the period comes to a close.
Been flipped. Rutgers playing a lot better offensively than they did at the beginning of the second half, I should say.
Now Lafayette's had 7 points in the last 5 minutes. And does Hampton have an answer in them? There's Maya Reeves, but she stepped out of play. That's a costly turnover, unforced. And now at that juncture, David Six re-enters his top scorer today, Cameron Hill, who had been on the bench for that Rutgers run with 4 fouls. Right inside to Cornwell, who has done a great job of drawing fouls inside 5 feet of the basket.
Here's another look. You see here, get the ball right in that low post area, draws the contact. A player that just has that height advantage. We've talked about that all afternoon long inside. Hampton doesn't really have anyone that can fully be able to match that as far as height is concerned. And especially in this second half, we've seen Lafayette and Cornwell step up in particular to be able to give Rutgers a little boost.
Hampton's tallest active players today. I mentioned they've been dealing with injuries. Tallest are 6 foot flat. Rutgers has more than half its roster of 6-footers. So 2 more at the stripe for Cornwell. 16 points, 11 rebounds. Rutgers' best performer today. As Hill right back on the court, but she did not lose that heat.
Well, that's going to be the question for Hampton. Can they keep Hill out of foul trouble for these last 9 minutes?
She can't afford one more. Rutgers did well to keep possession here. They've already got 18 turnovers today. It's a big reason why Hampton's in this game. Right back to you-know-who. Cornwell turns into a double team, no call, and Sidibe makes good.
And a nice pass that time by Cornwell, being double teamed. Like you mentioned, Dom, good cut as well by Sidibe to get open in the lane.
6 points for Rutgers senior Sidibe. And the Scarlet Knights are back to one of their largest leads of the afternoon. Hill already has 20, but gets stripped. It was Antonia Bates. And there's the freshman on the break. Shares it with Lafayette. Oh, it's perfect. Timeout, Hampton. Now, she was stuck there for a while. She could not believe it. And so Hampton, not only their best scorer today, best scorer this season, is out as Bates capitalizes on the momentum. It's Scarlet Knights by a dozen.
One of those freshmen that Coquise Washington has been excited about, coming up with a big shot there from behind the three-point line.
And then a foul against Rutgers. Now Bates is one of 5 Rutgers players who's canned to 3. She's got 6 points today, as Nyla Young is at the free throw line. You know, Rutgers as a team coming into this afternoon only averaged 20% of its scoring from 3. Today, with the 8 made triples, it's nearly half of today's points. It's a big difference.
They only shoot 32% from behind the line as a whole, just average-wise throughout the entirety of the year. So it's some much welcome success that I'm sure Coach Washington will take.
Well, Nyla Young, 2 at the line. She's going to have to be on her A game over these last 7 minutes, with Hill now out, fouled out of the game with 20 points and 4 rebounds. Carter using the baseline to go all the way to the rim.
And I think that's been the difference in this second half. Rutgers has been able to figure out a way to finally attack the Hampton zone effectively. Get to the rim. We talked about the three-point shooting, but I think the thing that's been more impressive for Rutgers in the second half has been the fact they've been able to get to the rim and score at the rim.
Young again earns the whistle. And that's on Antonia Bates. So Nyla Young, a 70% free throw shooter, right back to the stripe. And shooting into the Rutgers band, got the first. Young, a 4-year starter at Hampton, and she's been one of their best players from the moment she arrived on campus.
And if Hampton can figure out a way to get Young a little bit more involved offensively these last 6.5 minutes, this game by any stretch of the imagination is not over. In fact, now they're looking like they're going to try to press here, which has been something that Rutgers has struggled with to be able to manage at different times this season.
Now Rutgers breaks at that time. Bates, this time wide left. Sidibe trailing the play, so an open space inside, but Young can't use it. Oh, that'll be an offensive foul. Another veteran move by Victoria Mason. It's not the first time she's taken a charge today.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Don. The veteran move there by Mason. Very smart play. Rutgers trying to run the ball up the floor for a fast break, and Mason, I think, takes advantage of the fact that Smeichel is a freshman, wasn't exactly really sure what to do, stands her ground, gives Hampton a chance to cut into this Rutgers lead.
You could see Smeichel realize one step too late what was about to happen. So Smeichel goes to the bench. She's got 4 fouls, as does Cassandra Brown, who checks back in. As Buford attacks, that's a blocking call. And more free throws coming here for the Pirates.
Well, when you're down by 10 in the fourth, one way to be able to chip into that lead is do so with the clock stopped at the foul line. So this is a team in Hampton that shoots around 68% as a team. Buford around 84%. And that's a couple of players now, Dom, that Rutgers is kind of on the verge of having issues with fouls late in this fourth quarter.
Now Buford, Hampton's best free throw shooter, gets 2. She's got 9 points today. And Hampton, as Tim mentioned, in his full court press as Bates uses all 5 seconds to get the ball in.
Whoa.
Carter did not get over the mid-court line, so she wasn't established as Lafayette misses the 3. Buford airballed it, and Reeves right on the spot. I think the stoppage here is because the shot clock reset in error. That's it. They wind it down to 17. Now, Hampton's gotten this back to a single-digit game. Germany map off the pump fake, got blocked. Antonia Bates came up with it, and then a foul way away from the ball. It's going to go on to Maya Reeves, I think, on the box out.
Well, Rutgers definitely got away with one right there. Matt was clearly fouled trying to take that jump shot by Bates. Got her on the hand. And then I don't really see, I guess I see from moving away from that shot there right underneath the basket.
Yep.
Brown, or excuse me, I think that was Lafayette rather, got held from behind.
And now it's Mason who's whistled for the foul. The free throw line is going to be a big story over these final 5:21 because Hampton is in the bonus on Rutgers' next foul. Hampton, as we mentioned, has their top scorer, Cameron Hill, fouled out already. 20 points for her today, but she went out about 2 minutes ago and can't come back in. On another foul. And that's the 4th one against Hampton. So both teams in the bonus on the next whistle. Oh, they say on the court that it's the 5th foul.
Well, now free throw shooting, Dom's got to come down to whether or not Rutgers can make their shots.
And Sidibe can on that. 74% on the season. Again, Rutgers, one of the best in the nation, top 50. In free throw percentage. One more here. And that won't go either. So Rutgers 0 for 2. The turnover battle's been important. The free throw difference will be key. Reeves fouled. And Hampton, like Rutgers, in the bonus now.
I'm going to be curious to see which team is going to be able to manage this the best, because now, from what we saw just a few moments ago, kind of back and forth, high energy, now all of a sudden all that kind of comes to a screeching halt. Both teams in the bonus. Going to be shooting free throws the rest of the way. Tempo slows down tremendously. Does this allow Hampton a chance to get back into this game?
Now one more here for Reeves. Other thing, too, with free throws, it gives Hampton off a make a chance to set up its full court press. And they won't be able to do it here as Reeves misses the back end. And Rutgers breaks it. Oh, even still, Carter had it knocked away. Timeout. Just before she got tied up, Coquise Washington used one of her final 3 timeouts. That, and you got to hit your free throws. Rutgers right now 59%. As Sidibe goes over the midcourt line, it's a backcourt violation.
And that's not what you want out of a timeout, Dom. You had a chance to kind of set up your offense for a play. Gives Hampton now another chance to reset here, down by 7.
That's unforced. And Sidibe could have gone over the line to catch the pass, but once she's in the front court, she can't go back. And now Buford straight on, no. And the all-important fight on the glass, Cornwell wins it for the 12th time. And now Young is down behind the play. Oh, Nyla Young is down in agony. And you can see her grabbing at what looks like her left calf. Well, she's over on the bench, and in place of the 2-time all-conference pick and one of Hampton's top players, they enter a freshman, LaAsia Foreman, who is downstairs. Number 11 in blue.
Cornwell a little slow to get up there.
Yeah, she came down awkwardly trying to avoid contact. By my unofficial count, we've had at least 10 in this game, which is abnormally high. Lafayette, 2 more inside, but she's been so vital. 13 points, and almost all of them have come in the second half.
Yeah, I think if Rutgers is able to pull this one out, I think they're going to look to Erica Lafayette's performance in the second half in particular as something that kind of sparked their offensive play and helped Rutgers be able to give them just a little bit more of a boost to pull away in the end.
Mapp thought about it and got it anyway. It's a 3, and it's a 2-possession game. Hampton now 7 made threes as they've caught up to Rutgers in that department. Sidibe beats everybody and gets hit.
This game, we haven't talked about her a lot today, but she was definitely working on that shot, being able to catch the ball, turn around with her pivot foot, and shoot. That time just knocked down a very nice 3 from behind the 3-point line, but was working on her shot with her head coach.
Sidibe just got 2 at the free throw line. She missed a pair of free throws earlier in this half, so that's important. That builds Rutgers' lead back to 8 as the Scarlet Knights show a little bit of pressure. Now Buford cuts inside, and that may have been tipped. Bates and Cornwell were there. As now Lafayette streaks ahead and blew the layup. Back the other way. Buford, hold up. Now Mason penetrates. Rutgers scrambling defensively, and Mapp in the end lays it up. Sidibe off the cross. Rutgers has a mind for using some clock here. Carter, what's the contact? It's an offensive foul. Looked like she couldn't stop herself after she tried to plant and kick.
You see Nyla Young checking back into the game, Don. We saw her just a few moments ago go down awkwardly. It appears she's all right, which is a big boost for Hampton because potentially if they can get her involved these last couple of minutes, only being down by 6, they're still in this game.
You can see her sort of rubbing that leg. It looked like, again, a cramp on the court. But they get it right to her. First move inside, and that's one way to score. She'll be able to set up on the free throw line.
And more importantly, it stops the clock for Hampton now with 2:25. Young's been able to contribute nicely on the offensive glass today for Hampton.
And she's got 16 points, 5 rebounds, 8 of 10 at the line. And that time, that one settles in. Young in her 4th season as a starter at Hampton, trying to will this team back to what would be their first ever win over an active Big Ten school, but that's not going to count, that free throw. They're going to wave it off. It was a lane violation against Hampton. Now again, crunch time in a close game, unforced error. As Sidibe breaks the press. So Young would have had two, but only gets credit for one. Sidibe fouled. As Victoria Mason commits her fourth foul. And Sidibe right back to the line. Nine points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists for Sidibe. And once again, good on 2. So Rutgers down the stretch here, starting to improve its free throw shooting. And they're able to build the lead back to 7 as we approach the final 2 minutes. Hampton grabbed the lead in the third quarter. Rutgers made a run to get it back before the period was up. The Pirates haven't gone away, but they have not been able to capitalize in this fourth quarter. As Mason misses the layup. Schmeichel back on the court. Off the back of the rim, though. And then a foul will keep it here as Lafayette got held on the rebounding action.
And I know Schmeichel has played well in this game, especially from behind the three-point line, but I think that's a chance, especially when you have a lead like this. The clock is your best friend. I don't know if I'm necessarily all that thrilled with that shot. Trying to work the ball around maybe a little bit more, use up more clock, and then try to take a shot from around the perimeter. Nice hustle there by Lafayette to stick with it, though, and she's at the line now.
We talked about Erica Lafayette's emergence over this second half. 14, or rather all 14, now 15 of her points have come after halftime. Vital for this team. Now Hampton needs something on this possession. Buford off a handoff. Works around Sidibe, and she works herself to the line. Now, Rutgers has committed 20 fouls today, and again, with the 8-player roster, that can catch up to you quick, but it's distributed well enough where that's only Sidibe's third. And Buford reliable at the line, as we've talked about. Good on the first. A Hampton team that's been counted out in its new conference, the Colonial Athletic, first year there. After 4 in the Big South, picked 10th in the preseason poll. This would be a statement to the rest of their new league. They've got work to do now, though, with 92 seconds.
Curious to see how Hampton is going to be able to try to press Rutgers here, maybe force a turnover. Rutgers have to inbound the ball and get it across midcourt.
Yeah, we saw it against Cornell. Rutgers had trouble breaking the press, but that's a foul called as Lafayette tried to get around the defender. And they're going to put that on Victoria Mason, who just picked up her 5th foul. Whoa.
Wow.
And a lot like Cameron Hills, it's a tough call to make on a player's 5th foul.
And kind of one of those fouls, Dom, that's just unnecessary. You're trying, of course, to get good position. You want to deny the inbounds pass, but you don't want to pick up a foul away from the ball. That's a big, big loss now to have Mason foul out of the game. You had Hill foul out earlier.
And again, Rutgers has, despite its struggles in the first half, been great at the line in the second half. 13 of 16. And so Mason, 8 assists today. Hill, 20 points. Both have been out of the game. Or both out of the game now, I should say, for Hampton. And a freshman, Laisha Foreman, who made her college debut Wednesday, is on the court. Young off the screen. Again, foul has been the operative word in this fourth quarter. And that's on Bates, her fourth.
That's now 3 players that Rutgers has, one of which is on the floor, that have picked up their 4th personal. And again, why does that matter? Rutgers only has 8 players total on their roster.
Yep.
That's why that's a major storyline.
Yeah, first one good for Young, was up to 18 points now. 10 of 12 at the free throw line. And again, they're good. Now, for Rutgers' success at the stripe in the second half, how about Hampton? 12 of 13. The stripe has been charitable for them in the fourth. And now if they can get some steals, they're right back in it. Bates gets it for Lafayette, and Rutgers breaks. Streeter tries it and missed it. And Hampton's got it. And Rutgers not working the clock there.
Yeah, just too early in the shot clock there, Dom.
There's Cheyenne Talbot, who just checked in. Map on the drive, hooks it in. 5-point game. And now thrown in midcourt. Lafayette corrals it somehow. And she gets fouled.
Reeves lost a shoe there at midcourt.
Now the Hampton bench is in disbelief. It seemed like the Pirates had the sure steal on that unsuggested pass, let's say.
Yeah, dangerous inbounds pass. Take a look at this again. Oh, so close. Foreman almost has it in her hands, and the Map almost comes up with the steal as well.
Instead, miss automatic. Erica Lafayette gets another. Six for 6 at the line in the fourth quarter. Rutgers has done everything from the stripe that it can to close out the game, in spite of its turnovers. Buford carving in. I don't know the last time we had a full back-to-back possession without a foul.
That's really been every single possession since what, like the 3 or 4 minute mark to go
Yeah.
in this fourth quarter?
And that foul's on Cornwell, her third. Buford, who has been automatic herself lately, is at the stripe.
Well, you know, give Hampton credit, Don. They have made their foul shots. They haven't necessarily executed as well in this second half as they would have liked to have. I think they played better in the first, but when it's crunch time, they have made their shots at the line and given them ample opportunities to get back in the game.
Oh, it's going to stay on this side. Tipped out by Bates. And so it's a 6-point game. This is reviewable, and they're going to take a look at this, but the call on the court is Hampton ball. And it's Amaya Reeves looking to inbound. She finds Madison Buford, who tries the mid-range shot and missed it. And Rutgers with Sidibe has the rebound. Streaking ahead, feeding Lafayette. The layup won't go. Cornwell on the putback, though, makes good. Big bucket for Rutgers, in front by 8. Buford persisting, lost it. It's a turnover. And Rutgers gets the ball back.
Well, question was, could Rutgers hold defensively? Not only do they hold defensively, but Cornwell, an excellent offensive rebound and putback on the other end. Rutgers, though, forced to call a timeout here trying to get the ball in.
So the ball advances to midcourt, and it's in for Lafayette, who has been the star of the second half. She won't relinquish it, and we get a tie-up. Possession arrow, Hampton. Now they're arguing that right as the whistle blew, Amaya Reeves had the ball herself. But most importantly, the Pirates have it. And there's Reeves attacking immediately, missed it. Young puts it in somehow through the pack. And now Carter gets fouled. I don't know how Nyla Young was able to pull off that layup.
But how about the persistence from Young? Again, she was down on the floor, coming down awkwardly after trying to get a rebound earlier. fighting through two different defenders and somehow, with contact, probably should have been a foul down there, gets the basket to go.
Kai Carter's first free throws of the night, and got the first. And rattles in another. Scarlet Knights, again, free throw success has been vital for them in a close game.
They've made their shots.
90% in the fourth quarter. As Sidibe tipped it, did it hit off Buford? Yes. Rutgers ball, 7 seconds left, and this one's all but over. Hampton made it close. They pressured Rutgers into more than 20 turnovers, but Rutgers makes its free throws, and it's 3 veterans, Cornwell, Lafayette, and Sidibe, all finish in double figures as the Scarlet Knights get another win at home, back to their winning ways. They defeat Hampton 76-68.